my pearls?
Okay.
Margaret will be along in a minute. She's here.
Okay. That's good.
So that was interesting that my friend who lives in Malmo lived in Copenhagen all that time, and he knew exactly where that temple was that you were talking about.
Nice.
It
Nice.
was.
I think we've made this connection, so that's good.
Good.
Good. Howie and Robin, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Yeah.
No.
Stop hitting me.
Robin, how are you feeling?
Good, thank you.
Good. You can get out in this weather without it being a whole project.
Except heat does not always.
I'm not going out because of the virus.
But you get outside.
We can get outside. I didn't mean going anywhere. No one's going anywhere. It's, you know, I turned to Shira and I go, so what's new? She goes, what do you mean what's new? We've been together every minute. Anything that's new, you were there for. So yes.
We get outside, we wait for a few people, we come back in.
Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Good, that's fantastic. Okay?
I really didn't mean where had you been, because
Oh, I know.
no one's been anywhere.
I need my drink.
So how are you feeling?
Hello, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Is it 10 people? Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
More.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for people to get here.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I have a quick question. The Zoom drive-by this Sunday, you're going to be back in New Jersey,
We are.
Yes.
but right now you're still in Lenox.
Either
Yeah.
that or you're going to have a really long commute.
That's a drive-by, and you got to drive 3 hours each way. It's not bad. It's really
Right.
not bad.
Without a bathroom, right? Yeah. Okay. Great.
But we have a bathroom.
Yes, we're going home tomorrow, and actually the movers are coming on Thursday, so we have to
Wow.
do all of that. So we're going to the office and packing up on Sunday. So yes,
I hear Tati.
she's making herself known.
Oh yeah, it's great. Are they going to stay there? While you're back, yeah. By the way, we watched all of the Zooms, all of the 10 commandments, and I did ask if it was recorded.
I didn't know that.
Melinda said she sent me a private message. She said she missed
Okay, right now it's on.
15 minutes of it yesterday, and she forgot to record herself today. So you're recorded, I believe.
Okay, so
So I asked so
Yeah.
that Jody can watch it when she stays completely offline on Yontif. So now she's offline for 2 weeks.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's nice to see you all. Those of you that don't have your cameras on, if it's possible for you to turn them on, we'd appreciate it. If you can't, you can't. But it's a whole lot nicer for us to at least look at your faces, even if we can't hear you, than it is just to see your names. So don't worry about your hair.
Really, don't worry
Really,
about
don't
your
worry
hair.
about your hair. Really, it's a thing. Be great for you all to join us.
Pandemic
you.
hair.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll start in just a couple of
Shabbat
minutes.
shalom.
First of all,
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I hear that. I hear
Heard that. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
The picture seems to be freezing. Is that just on my screen?
Yes.
I think so.
Oh, well.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
I heard someone say hi, but I
Yes,
didn't see who it is.
It's Gabriella Sarah.
It's
Okay. Are we going to get to see her?
Hi, Gabriella.
Gabriella.
You sure can. Hold on. That's me.
Okay, that's not Gabriella. I'm sure of it. I know she looks a lot.
Hey, Kara.
So where's Gabriella?
Hi, how are you? Wait,
Good.
hold on. I have to figure out how to turn the camera. That's
Hi
her.
there.
Hi. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
And we have that one. They're late to
Hi.
finish dinner. That's why I.
Hello.
Oh, she's
And
got the
that one.
grandkids.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey, Jeff. Hi, Sharon.
We're going to give people one more minute and we'll get started. And again, for those of you who are not on video, if you are able to put yourselves on video, we would appreciate it because it's really much nicer to look at faces than it is to look at people's names on a screen. So if you can join us, that'd be great. If you can't, you can't.
Hi, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
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 Shabbat shalom.
Ray is coming slowly.
Oh, yours says Aaron.
Good.
I apologize for eating in front of everybody, but it is blintzes that I'm eating.
All right.
Oh,
That's okay.
There you go.
did you make them, Jen?
No, John just ran out to the diner to get them for me.
That's something I don't think our diner has. But we did get some matzo ball soup to take out yesterday.
Nice.
So everybody, Shabbat Shalom. And
Shabbat shalom.
we are ending Chag Sameach. We're ending Shavuot. For those of you who are able to join us for some or all of last night and today's presentations by 10 rabbis, I will tell you that the rabbis who set it up decided that it was a really good thing and they want to try to continue that. And there are a number of different options that they're going to be pursuing, including some study sessions over the summer and maybe some things that we do together for other holidays. So that's going to be coming up in the future, but we're very grateful to Rabbi Pankin for setting the whole thing up, for having the idea and sharing it. And when she said it, everybody just said, that's a great idea. That's really wonderful. So it was really nice to be able to study on Shavuot day. Usually when it's a weekday, people are busy at work. And for some reason, people were home today. So it worked out well. I think everyone took off for Shavuot. So we're going to begin. And again, I'll say it just one last time. If you're able to put yourselves on video, we appreciate it so we can see you. And otherwise, if you have books, if you have a Siddur, we'll be announcing page numbers. Again, if you would like a Siddur, because clearly we're going to be doing this for a while, write to me or write to Tamima, and we will make sure that we can either drop one off or you can pick one up. It will be pre-sanitized and in a Ziploc bag. So it's ready for you. You can have 1, 2, or however many you need. It does make it a whole lot easier to follow along if you have the book in front of you. So please take a minute and think back through your week. And I know that for me, I've been creating little stick figures. We are finishing our 11th week of quarantine. And it can seem like all the days run together, but life is too short to do that. So please think back through your week. Think of something good, something that happened this week that was good. And it's easy to go, oh, nothing happened. But I doubt there's a week where
We
nothing.
talked to Sandy and
Please take a minute.
we talked to
about
Sandy
what
and
was going
Erwin, and we had a Zoom with Zoom with Zoe.
Jody.
I'd love to tell you to turn to someone on the screen next to you and share it, but that doesn't work. So you're going to need to just keep this to yourself right now. We're going to mute everybody for the course of the service. And again, at the end, we'll unmute everybody. Feel free to stay around and schmooze and nosh and whatever. So we will do that now, and we're going to get started.
We're going to begin with page 128, Hine Matov. And we're doing a lot of Aryans just because I needed something to pick me up today. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Once again. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanahim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. And for the Hebrew on page 130, Tach Libi, actually it's not 130. The words in Hebrew are Patach, Patach, Patach Libi, B'Toratecha U'B'Mitzvotecha. It's the wonderful melody by Sheldon Lowe that he has on one foot.
It's not in here. That's right.
We're going. So if you know it, please sing along with me. You'll get the hang of it. Tach, tach, libi, b'toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha. Tach, tach, libi, v'tov nafshi. Tach, tach, libi, b'toratecha, u'mitzvotecha. Tach, tach, libi, tirdov nafshi. Open my heart, let me love, let me live. Learn how to give, learn how to give. Open my soul, every blessing reminds me. Your love will find me, your love will find me. Tach, tach, libi, b'toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha. Tach, tach, libi, tirdov nafshi. Open my heart and for your Torah and for your mitzvot, and pursue my soul. And may it pursue my soul.
So we mark the end of Shavuot and the beginning of Shabbat, and we turn to candle lighting on page 121 and 120.
Lighter. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give life to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hashem kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Here's that works.
Like that, that works.
I guess like that. We continue with the call to worship, page 146. Please rise if you're able.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed.
On 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the ways on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven stands to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Arabim.
Amen. We continue on page 150. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al kin Adonai Eloheinu v'shochtenu uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'id ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvaham negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla, ve'avatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ahev amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Yevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'id. 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להורות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On the facing page, I love this reading. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. 158.
Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Once again, mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Noah tehilon usefele, Noah tehilon usefele, mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Page 160, we'll read the English and then sing the Hebrew at the end. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
This past Sunday, I was asked to do a webinar on the new rituals that we've developed over the last 3 or 4 months. We talked about expanding al-netilat yadayim, washing of the hands, every time we wash our hands, so that it becomes not just an ordinary act, it becomes a sacred act, a holy act. I have to tell you that when I put on my mask, which makes me look a little bit like a bank robber, I say this prayer because I ask God to, as I'm shielding myself, but not really protecting myself, I'm protecting everybody else. I'm asking God to protect me. So this is why I love this particular prayer. Baruch atah Adonai haporech sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Once again, Baruch atah Adonai haporech sukat shalom. Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporech sukat shalom. Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
162. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. V'shamru.
Page 162. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיהם ברית עולם.
Page 164 and even number pagers going forward. Please rise if you are able.
Adonai, Adonai, שפתי תפתח, Adonai, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, העליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני ונכר, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה להושיע,
מוליד הטל, מחכה לחיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשנע ניחמו בעל גבורו, ומדום מלך מביט ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ולמנתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. You are holy. Your name is holy. And those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
We continue on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh HaShabbat. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tem chalkenu b'toratecha. Sam'enu mituvecha v'samchenu yeshuatecha. V'taher libeinu le'amdecha b'ribit. V'taher libeinu. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat.
175. Ever-present one. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avo. 176. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end. O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails. We forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot. 178.
Shalom Yisrael Hamachon Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Yisrael Hamachon Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech Adon Lechol ha-shalom, ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom, v'tov b'einecha, לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל לשלום.
We now pray silently.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן, Amen. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן, Amen.
So do we have any couples who are celebrating May wedding anniversaries? You need to wave your hands or something if we have any such couples. No hands going up.
It's May.
May. It's May. All right. Please turn to page 371. And in a moment, we will join together in our prayer for healing. Before we do that, I'm going to unmute everyone and ask you to say aloud the names of the people you're thinking of. And yes, it will be a cacophony, but that's really quite all right. So I will unmute everyone unless you muted yourself. And I ask you, let's see, unmute. and ask you please to say the names of the people that you're praying for right now.
Norman Einhorn.
Shirley
Elaine and
Joyce
Friedel.
Angela, Donna Ambler,
the truth in the world,
Pat
what
Resch,
they're dealing with.
Harriet Freund.
Emmett Salkin,
Rosie Lesher.
Rozzy Leshin,
Dave Grayson, Chicago. Isha May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing. Amen.
I'm going to move the candles now so I don't burn me or anyone. I want to start with a story. It's an old story and I love it. A rabbi and a soap maker went walking for a walk together. The soap maker said, "What good is religion? Look at all the trouble and misery of the world. Still there, even after years, thousands of years of teaching about goodness and truth and peace. Still there after all the prayers and sermons and teachings. If religion is good and true, why should this be?" The rabbi said nothing and they continued walking until the rabbi notices a child playing in the gutter. Then the rabbi said, "Look at that child. You say that soap makes people clean, but look at the dirt on that youngster. What good is soap? With all the soap in the world, the child is still filthy. I wonder how effective soap is after all." The soap maker protested, "But Rabbi, soap can't do any good unless it's used." "Exactly," said the rabbi. "Exactly." When I was in rabbinic school and starting to consider what it would mean to be a rabbi, I realized that anything worth taking on was going to be not just bigger than I am, but much, much, much bigger than I am. When we looked at the challenges of getting Jews to understand that Torah relates to us, the challenges of fixing the things that are wrong in the world, repairing the evils in the world, reaching the people who've been left alone, I started to think, what am I doing? I will never succeed in this. And it was early on that we studied in Pirkei Avot, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. It is not your job to finish the task. Velo ata ben chorin lihibatel mimena. But since you are free people, you do not have the right to keep from starting it. And I know that's a bunch of negatives in there, but it's done that way on purpose. We are taught that we will not finish any task that's worth doing. We just won't. But that doesn't give us permission to refrain from starting it. As Jews, we're called upon to address these issues, to address the big issues in the world. And I had Lo Alecha written on a sign. A friend of mine gave me a plaque which said it, which has been hanging in my office. And the song which was written about it, is it Danny and Jeff that did that? I think it was Danny Freelander and Jeff Klepper who wrote the music to Lo Alecha. It's just one of those tunes that I sing all the time. Think for a minute, if you would, about the incredible work that TRT does in feeding the hungry. Think about what we do. Think about how, in planning for the coming year's high holidays, Tamima Grindwald, our president, told me that the group that got together and said, okay, things are going to be different this year. What are we going to do? The group said one of the things that had to be maintained was the food drive. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel to know that this was something which overwhelmingly people said has to be part of our high holidays. So for all of you who take part in our food drive, whether it's on Yom Kippur, or whether it's the food drives that we do a couple of times a year at supermarkets, whether it's the drive-by food drive that we did a couple of weeks ago that's going to be done again, or whether it's just coming and dropping a can or a box of something at TRT when putting it in the box. I hope you don't think for a minute that your gift, no matter how much you bring, is going to solve the problem of hunger. It's not. I promise you, it's not. The man who headed Mazon for a number of years talked one time about this issue. He said that if you took our annual budget, which at the time was about $3 million, if you took $3 million and you turned it into food, it would not feed one meal to the hungry people just in this country. So why do we bother? Because it matters to this one. Because what we do does matter. And we need to understand, and I've tried to teach over these 40 years of serving as a rabbi, that it wasn't our job to finish it. Not at all. It's our job to start. Because every time we start, it makes a difference. Now, in our world today, there are so many people who say, it doesn't make a difference to me. Why should I wear a mask? I'm young and healthy. That's one way of looking at things. Why is the government telling me to wear a mask and is therefore restricting my freedom? That's one way of looking at things. It's not the Jewish way. The Jewish way is to say, how do I do my part? How do I do something? If this is important, whatever it is, if it's important, how do I do something to address this problem? Now, for each of us, we may have more than one thing. We may have several things. But whatever we do, whatever we contribute to, whatever we give our time to, whatever we give our concern to, unless it's a tiny undertaking, we won't see the end of it in our lifetime. You believe in repairing the environment? Good. I do too. We need to each do our part. But you and I will probably not see the effects of our part. That doesn't make it any less important. You believe in feeding the hungry? Bring food. Bring, as I've always said, just stupid amounts of food, because it's really important. But you and I don't know the people it goes to. And on a Yom Kippur day, when we bring in 12,000 pounds of food and it goes to the food bank, they'll use up that 12,000 pounds of food in a couple of days. So why bother? They're just going to be hungry again. See, as Jews, that's just not our option. Because it doesn't say you should in this statement from Pirkei Avot. It says you have no choice. If you're Jewish and you're not in prison, You have to start. Lo alecha hamlacha yegmor. You do not need to finish it. V'lo ata ben chorin lehibatel mimena. But you may not, as a free person, choose not to start. For me, this has been something that's made it possible for me to do this work, because I've always known that whether it was finding peace in the Middle East, whether it was finding equality in our country, whether it was providing healthcare for people who need, whether it's providing rights for people who can't speak for themselves, or people who've been put down and discriminated for way too long, whatever it might be, we have to start. And so I asked Shira if she would sing Lo Alecha,
Page 645.
page 645. And I'd like you, as we sing it, to think about something that you will commit yourself to starting. You won't get it done. Your children won't get it done. But you can plant the seeds. And those seeds, if they are good seeds, will turn out to be something really beautiful and make a difference in the world. What are you going to start knowing that you won't see the end?
Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel mimena. Velo ata ben chorin. Velo ata ben chorin lehibatel mimena. Velo ata ben chorin. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor. Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. Lo alecha ligmor.
Page 586. Yes, God, you've given us a unique destiny. Aleinu. In the middle of the page, please rise if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כיהי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
A couple of announcements to share with everyone. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat Minyan is at 10 o'clock, trt.org/Saturday. You're welcome to join. I hope you'll join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Next Friday, obviously still 6:30, we have a very special celebration, and I really hope that you will join us. We have 3 students who have completed 12th grade in their religious school education. Their graduation was supposed to be back at the end of April. We postponed it, assuming we'll be back in our building by the beginning of June. Okay, so we're doing it online next Friday evening, and I really, really hope you'll join us, because we want to celebrate with these young people who've been such extraordinary students, such amazing members, not just of our religious school, but of our community. And so please join us next Friday as we wish them well and congratulate them and honor them for completing a decade or more of religious school each, which may not be a lot, but it is when you're 17. So please join us next Friday for that. Once again, please, we are here for you. Shira and I, Tamima Grunwald, are all here for you at any time you need. And if we can't provide the answers, we can put you in touch with people who can. If you need help with something, whether it's shopping or going to pick up medicines or something like that, we can help you do that if you need help. If you need to talk, you don't even need to know what you want to talk about. Call us, write to us, say, hey, can we set a time? We'll talk on the phone, we'll talk on Zoom, whatever works for you. But please know that the fact that the building is closed doesn't mean that we're not here. A number of my colleagues posted the same thing I did last week when there was the whole discussion about synagogues reopening and churches reopening. And we said very simply, we have never closed. We're not in our building. We are still doing everything we've been doing. And we've been doing it this way in order to keep people safe, including people who can't defend themselves against this virus, which is most of us. And so please reach out to us. We are making another round of calls in the next week or two to everyone in the congregation just to check in on you. But don't wait for us. Reach out to us if we can help in any way at all. We turn now to Kaddish on page 598. Is this the last one? Is this the second to last? Right. Shira asked me to remind people that the bereavement group will meet this Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is, I believe, trt.org/bereavement.
Correct.
So once again, try to make this stone cold simple for people. This is the second to last session that Shira will be leading, and then it's going to be taken over by Jen Herzog. And Jen is here. Jen, wave. See, Jen is going to be taking over that group after that, but you're invited this Wednesday. So page 598. On this Shabbat, we remember Steve Kaufman, whose Shloshim we observe, husband of Ellen Kaufman, father of Liza Minahan and Adam Kaufman, and member of Temple Rodeph Torah. And we remember those whose yahrzeits occurred during this week. Silda Kaufman, Irving Schwartz, Alvin Brenner, Bella Gilbert, Irving Bisgaya, Sam Tabakman, Alma Lobel, Rita Dombroff, Samuel Markowitz, Daniel Harris, Joseph Albert, Frida Broder, Edward Komar, Natalie Mautner, Muriel Zweig, Leo Cranen, Albert Goldberg, Miriam Marcus, Laura Brenner, Joyce Goldberg. We thank God for the gift of their lives, and we praise God for the blessing of their memory. And so in their memory, we rise together for Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba, B'alma divrach chilutei v'yamnif malchutei, B'chayachon u'b'yomechon, Uv'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'adala u'bizman karev v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba mevarach la'alam u'la'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, Yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shmei b'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Ga'amiram b'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, U'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, U'ya'aseh shalom.
עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל.
So for our final song, please turn to page 644 in the middle. Im ein anili mili. Appropriate?
Absolutely.
Okay. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Im ein anili mili. וכשאנה לעצמי מה אני, ואם לא עכשיו, אימתי, once again, אם אינה לי מיני, וכשאנה לעצמי מה אני, ואם לא עכשיו, אימתי. בכל דם אדום יאי אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו הוא יצא ממצרים. אם אין אני לי מיני וכשאני לעצמי מה אני ואם לא עכשיו אימתי.
In case you haven't figured it out, rabbis tend to be a little bit off-center. It's kind of the way we work. But among rabbis, there's one who stands out as being way more off-center than most. His name was Choni Hama'agel, Choni the circle maker. And you can look him up because, man, he was a strange one. But at one point, somebody came by and saw Choni planting carob trees. And the man went up to him and said, Choni, what are you doing? He said, I'm planting carob trees. The man said, Choni, you're 70 years old. It takes 20 years for a carob tree to bear fruit. Come on, let's be serious. This is a long time ago. You're not going to be around to see this tree bear fruit. Why are you bothering? And Choni said, when I arrived on this earth, there were carob trees already. Someone planted them for me. I'm just planting them for those who come next. Choni understood that we don't always see the fruits of our labors, but our lives are the product of the fruits of so many people's labors that the very least we can do is to pay the favor forward. You don't have to finish it. Never had to finish it. Let's begin. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We will unmute everyone. We invite you to stay and schmooze.
Shabbat
Have a
Shalom,
wonderful
everyone.
Shabbat.
Shalom, everyone. Safe.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Safe.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi.
Shabbat Shalom, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Hi.
Shalom, Janet.
Shalom.
Hi, Janet. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat,
Shabbat
guys.
Shalom, Karen.
Shabbat.
Bye. Nice.
Whose is it?
Great job.
Somebody singing.
Hi, Miriam. Hi, Miriam.
Stay safe, all. Have a wonderful Shabbat and a good week.
You too.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Shabbat
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Yes. Be safe.
Eileen.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom. Oh,
I have the gang here with me.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
That's right, it is.
Have
Can
a
I ask
great
you,
time with them.
Iska, yet did I miss it?
Now.